As was expected from a month-over-month standpoint, the Greater Edmonton real estate market has cooled off slightly. So as the August stats rolled in, they were slightly lower than what we saw in July. But when we compare August of 2024 to August of 2023, it's a whole other story. Stay tuned and I'll give you the goods on where we're at year over year and where I think we're going to be headed for the fall. If you're pondering a move, it's important to know or at least have a rough understanding of what's happening in the local real estate market. So stay tuned to the end of this video for some insight on how the current market could affect your real estate goals. In August, the total number of residential sales came in at 2,591, an 11.8% decrease from July, but we were still 15.8% higher than August of last year, which was great to see. New listings were at 3,467, which was down 7% from July, but up 7.7% from August of 2023. And this is to be expected from a month-over-month standpoint. And if you stick with me from now until January, you will see the numbers trending in a slight cool down each month in terms of both listing and sales. The Edmonton real estate market is kind of like a cyclical roller coaster. And if we look at it from a calendar perspective, it starts to ramp up January to mid-February and then increases throughout the spring months, gets the busiest March through May approximately, and then it starts to slow down and decrease throughout the summer and fall. And typically in the early winter, the inventory is the lowest and the fewest sales are happening. This makes sense though, because moving in the snow or during the holidays is definitely not very appealing. Year over year, we're definitely seeing an increase in both sales and new listings though. We are still in a seller's market with low inventory overall, and this has been the story for over a year now. We had an increase in inventory from 1.99 months, which was in July, to 2.24 months in August. So buyers had a few more houses to choose from, but not too big of a difference. A balanced market sits at about 4 to 6 months of inventory. So at 2.24, we're still very much in that seller's market. I've noticed personally a bit of a lull in activity over the last couple weeks, but we're now heading into that final push with the fall market. So sellers, there is still time to take advantage of it. There's still buyers out there, especially relocation buyers. Average prices have remained consistent as well, so you can beat that seasonal cool down if you plan to list in the very near future. Okay, average price. So the average price for a home in the Greater Edmonton Area right now is sitting at $435,000, whereas in August it was at $440,000 when you factor in all residential sales. So this was a very slight decrease, but we're really only looking at about a 1.2% difference there. Breaking it down by housing category, detached homes sold for an average of $546,000, duplexes for an average of $415,000, and townhouses were $291,000. To break it down further, looking at month-over-month sales, detached homes were down 1.1%, duplexes were actually up 1.9%, and row housing was down 0.5%. So these prices have remained obviously quite stable from a month-over-month perspective. But when we look again at the year-over-year standpoint, we're knocking 2023's sales socks right off. So year-over-year, we're up 9.1% in average prices, which is quite an increase. We saw double-digit increases year-over-year, anywhere from 10 to 14% in all three of those categories. And then to add in apartment-style condos, they're up 5%, and that's in a market where they've been down for years now. The average days on market has increased slightly to 35 days. It was taking 33 days for a property to sell on average in July, so inventory is continuing to move quickly. And just to give a little perspective on that, last year the average days on market in August was 46 days. So again, outperforming 2023. Although we're moving into the cooler months with a cooling market to follow, year to date, we are still doing great. And I predict that as we move into the fall and winter of 2024, the trend will continue that we outperform the previous year. So sellers, the average prices have remained relatively stable. Days on market are low. There's lots of buyers out there. So this is still a good time to list your property. And for buyers, As I always say, be prepared with a pre-approval and a buyer's agent who can support you. I am still seeing multiple offer situations in those price points of $450,000 or lower. So unrepresented buyers will struggle to make a purchase in this low inventory market. If you're looking for a more personalized evaluation on how the current market would impact you in the area that you live, keeping your personal real estate goals in mind, I would be happy to talk about it. Send me an email and let's start the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.